there were people all around us. Boy, didn't you see, hear about, we didn't go through it.
So why do you think it didn't appear
Yeah.
to the two of you?
We wondered about that.
Yeah.
I can remember so well when we were stationed in, when did we get that 05 housing? It was a white.
Whiteman.
Yeah, in
71.
71. Now, we were, at that time that we were in the military, I was a captain.
captain.
I was a captain. And the housing officer called me up and said, Captain, I got a house for you over there where the colonels live, field grade housing they called it. And I was a captain.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be living in what they call company grade housing. And he called me up and said, I got some housing over there, what they call the field grade officers live. For how many rooms? And a basement. Every how many rooms it was?
Three bedrooms.
3 bedrooms and a basement. Company, field grade houses, 04 and 5 and 6. Colonel, like 2, 3, 4 doors down, there where the base commander lived, wing commander lived. We were neighbors. I'm still an Afro-American, but that happened to us.
Do you think you were advanced because of your color?
Well, you had to do your job too.
I know, but to get superior housing, it's not a job, it's much of an
Now watch this
accommodation.
one. I think it's because we were involved in the military community a little bit more so than some of my other comrades were. In fact, when I heard about the storms going on in the Midwest right now, we were stationed in Missouri and Ohio, and when those winds came through, they were blowing, and we didn't have a direct storm, but the other Afro-American officers that lived in the base, on the base, they would come over to our house to go down into the basement so they could avoid the wind.
So the people knew you.
The people.
People around whites.
Amen.
People, they knew.
Just like it is now.
Yeah, I know that now. I haven't gotten to that. Give me a chance.
Well.
I'm
Okay.
trying to find out about you. And a lot I already know, but a lot I don't know, and I want to hear your words. I want to get back though to you moving to different military bases, and how do you handle your family? Either one can answer that.
Well, as he was saying, I think it was because we were involved. We were in the choir. I was in the Wives Club, Officers' Wives Club. I was one of the officers, became an officer of the club. I was vice president, and I was coordinator of the Family Services, which is an organization that gives, that helps the incoming military families to get settled. And we just put ourselves in a place where we were able to work in the military base community.
Yes.
And you did.
And
well.
we did.
Yeah,
I
really.
mean, when you worked, you kept your word.
Right,
Bingo.
we did what we
You
were
do.
supposed to
You
do,
did what
and we were, they were dependable.
You were dependable.
Amen.
So
Right.
people could depend on you.
Amen.
Right.
And so, because they could depend on you, that may have knocked down some
Maybe it did.
possible
Some of the
negativism.
Right, some of the negative feelings
whether
about
it was racial
right.
or
Whatever,
just
yeah.
don't like you or something.
Right.
There's a lot of things that motivate people. But how many bases did you travel to during the marriage of the 24 years, or how many places or countries?
Let's see, we started out in Germany.
Okay.
We spent 3 years there. We lived on the economy.
Live with the Germans.
We have lived in a German
Community.
housing with a German family, and they treated us like they
You weren't
were
on
our
base.
children.
No.
We weren't on
Okay.
base.
Okay.
No.
base.
And they treated us just like we were part of the family.
Amen.
So that's Germany.
That's
Amen.
Germany. Then we came back and we moved to Ohio.
Ohio.
And
Whereabouts in what base was
it was
that?
Lockbourne. It's in Columbus.
Columbus,
Okay.
Ohio,
Which is now Rickenbacker. I think
So
they've
how
closed it there
How
now.
was it living there?
We bought a mobile home,
Okay.
and they didn't have mobile home park on base, so we had to live off base in a mobile home, which was on a farmer's property. He had part of it fixed up for rental for mobile homes, and we lived there for, I think we were there about a year,
Was that
year and a half.
integrated? Was that?
Yes.
Okay. all
Yes.
right, keep moving.
And once we left Ohio, that's when he
Yeah, I was going back to
went
Germany.
no, you went to OTS.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Officer
and
Training School,
Officer
OTS.
Training School. And once he finished that, we moved to Las Vegas.
Okay.
And again, we still had the mobile homes, so when we moved to Las Vegas, and the reason why we moved to Las Vegas was he had gotten orders to go to Sumter, South Carolina. And I was reading Life magazine that summer before he came home, saying that the Ku Klux Klan were having their convention there. And I said, I'm not going to South Carolina. And so he went to, I guess,
Base personnel.
the personnel and told them that we had a mobile home, and they checked around to see if there was a place for him to park the mobile home in South Carolina, and they said, you'll have to find a family to, to let you park your mobile home because there's nothing on base. And he said, well, is there any place else that we can go? And Marion said, any place I can park my mobile home.
Yeah.
And that's when they sent us to
So
Las
you
Vegas.
weren't choicy.
No.
Right.
Okay.
All we wanted to do was go somewhere and park a mobile home. And the guy said, the personnel guy said, how about Nellis Air Force Base? Yeah, where is that? He said, Las Vegas.
That's right. That's how you ended up in
That's
Vegas.
how we ended
So
up
from
in Vegas.
Vegas, where did you move?
And then from Vegas, we went to,
We were
where
going
did
back
we
to
go?
Germany.
Oh, yeah, while we were in Vegas, he got orders to go back to Germany, and I was happy as a lark.
Because she loved Germany.
And
Me too.
then the Seven-Day
Seven-Day
War
War.
broke out.
Israel and the 6 day,
And
6 days.
6 day,
68.
6 day, yeah. It was
67.
67,
67, whatever,
67, and I didn't get to go. And so
Yeah, I
I
went to
went,
Tripoli, Libya.
and he was then sent to Tripoli, Libya.
And the reason she couldn't go because they did not allow the
Allow
wives to come over there. Now, those that were there could stay there.
But not just go
No,
there
you
with
couldn't
no
go, no.
husband.
Right, not to go at that particular
So
time.
was that the first time you were separated?
No, not-
From the career?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
that's what I mean.
That
during
was the first
career.
time that I could not accompany him.
Accommodate him.
I would go and spend time with my family while he got set up, like in Ohio. When he went to
Yeah.
Ohio, we stayed there with my family until I could, move up to where he was.
So from Vegas, where did you go?
From Vegas, let's see,
Yeah,
we went to
I mean, you said
Illinois,
something
Chanute,
Okay.
is in
That's the next
Rantoul,
base.
Illinois.
But she worked on her degree while I was in Tripoli. She was
Yeah.
working on her degree.
That's when I finished my
Your
degree.
Your degree, okay. And then where did you move, when you came back together and could
That's-
reunite?
That's when we went to Rantoul, Illinois.
Oh, okay,
It was a base called Chanute.
okay.
And we lived there for, a year and a half, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Whatever.
And the funny thing about that we will always think about is that we were living in a duplex housing.
Now, okay,
And
explain.
it was
Yeah.
on each side, one side was one family and one side was us. Marion was a captain, there was another captain on the other side. His name was Captain White. Marion was Captain Black.
Yeah, you have
He
a-
was white.
Yeah.
And he was,
Yeah, Captain Black.
and we always laugh about that.
Yeah.
And in all of
did you
this,
have children now?
I was just about to say, in all of this, our children, Cynthia was born in Germany,
Oh, okay.
and William was born in Ohio. So by the time we moved to Las Vegas, Cynthia started kindergarten in Las Vegas, and of course William was still a toddler. But she had no problems, in the school. And sometimes when we would go back, like when he went to Libya, we went back to Mayfield, and my daughter went to first grade. No, she was in second grade then, in Kentucky, and I think my son started. I think he started first grade, kindergarten. No, he didn't start kindergarten yet. He hadn't started kindergarten because she's 3 years older than him. And by the time we moved to Rantoul, that's when both of them were in school. He was in kindergarten and she was in third grade. And they had to bus the children from the base to the city schools. And so that's, and when he was in kindergarten, he was doing so well that they advanced him to first grade. And it was because my mother worked with him while he was, when we were there with him, with them, and
so you had the extended family support as well,
yeah.
while all of this was
Through
going
all
on.
of this,
Amen.
yes.
So I know, were you ever stationed at Norton Air Force Base?
Yes, that was
Okay,
our last base.
That was the last. Was it a place between?
Between, let's see, we stopped at Chanute. That's when I was in the narration. Chanute, and then we went to.
What?
Was it Whiteman? Yeah. We went to Whiteman Air Force Base, which
And where
is
is
in
that?
Missouri.
Missouri, okay.
It's in a town called Knobnoster, Missouri. And another funny thing about that is when we were driving up to the town, my daughter looked around and she said, "Daddy, where have you taken us now?"
It was a missile base way out in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle, yeah.
And so therefore it was, when you drive through,
The town
where's
was
the town?
very small.
Very small. And I never will forget
And we
that.
spent 3 years there.
3 years there.
Yeah.
And then we moved.
And then we moved out here to Norton.
Norton. And what made you settle in San Bernardino after you retired?
Okay.
Well, when we first got to Norton, Marion said, "This is where I want to stay. No snow, no ice."
He said it right off.
Yeah, he loves the weather.
The weather.
But why
Nice
did you,
weather.
it was the weather?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mainly the weather.
And how long were you here before you retired?
Okay, we got here in '74. I want to tell a little story about when we got here.
Okay.
I was stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base. We were in missiles, and then while I was at Whiteman, the wing commander, who was a colonel, came up to me one day and said, "Marion, we're having a lot of racial problems throughout the military, and the Air Force too, because Vietnam had just ended, and there was a lot of racial issues going on."
Right.
And he said, "Marion, I want your new job is to kind of walk around the base and check on the racial issues that are going on."
The different bases?
No, at Whiteman Air
That
Force,
base,
at that
okay.
base, because we had people like me, able who they were at all the bases, because
Oh,
the racism in the military was really on the rise, and all because of Vietnam. And whatever job, I was in personnel or whatever I was doing, or missiles or whatever I was doing, and so he said, "Your job," now when he said that, just to walk around the base. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. But they had a class for those of us that were into that program, and we had to go to school for, I think, 6 weeks down at based in Florida. And so my job became that of walking around the base and checking on the racial issues, and then the classes began as far as how people are supposed to relate to each other. Nobody wanted to attend those classes, and so, but I had, as I was an officer, I was captain, captain at the time. I taught the officers, all the officers on base. My job was to teach the officers how to get along with everybody on base racially. Now, my enlisted people that I had working with me, they taught the enlisted people same thing. And most of the people that came into those classes why am I here? What am I doing to come to this class? But when they left, even from my enlisted, all of my employees, people working for me were Caucasian. I was the only black person in the duties that I had. But they did an excellent job. In fact, two of my enlisted guys that taught classes were from this Arkansas, Kansas, Arkansas, Alabama, wherever they were from. But apparently they did a good job, because most people that left that class, when we got the grades that they gave us, I'm glad somebody made me come to this class.
Mhm.
That's what and the officer, the wing commander, the top guy on base, he was the first guy that walked into my class, because he wanted to set an example of what everybody was supposed to do. Wing commander, base commander, colonel, these are colonels and lieutenant colonels and whatever. They came to the classes first to set the example of what the base is supposed to do. Somebody would say, oh, the colonel didn't go, why do I have to go? But that wasn't the case. The colonel went, you will go too, who you are. So,
Okay, you